Well, hi, Bruce.
Hi, Erin.
We are high above the studio, getting a bird's eye view right now.
I know.
You spent a little time in there.
I have. You know, we've been in this building since 2007, and we moved here in stages from Hartford, and I was actually the first one to do a broadcast from our new Channel 3.
That is just unbelievable. I mean, when you told me the news, I couldn't believe it, and we're obviously so happy for you, but it's such a loss for not only us, but for all of Connecticut. It really is.
You know, it was a hard decision to make. It really was, but I feel like I've had such a good career at Channel 3. I mean, I've been in this market, unusual, for 43 years, and I've been at the station for 37 full-time years, and I'm just so proud to be the longest serving anchor that Channel 3 ever had. So it's time. It's time. It was a hard decision to make. There's so many people I love working with and have worked with over the years, and I'm going to miss that. But at the same time, I'm not going to miss the anxiety that comes with long storm coverage, you know, tornado warnings that could pop up in the afternoon, because even though I work the afternoon and evening, the work starts early in the morning. You know, we have to check things in the morning and figure out the plan for the day. So it's more than just an 8-hour day. So I'm kind of looking forward to more peaceful times.
It'll definitely be more peaceful.
Yes, it will.
You can sleep in during those snowstorms. I wanted to talk about how welcoming you are. I remember coming into Channel 3 and being introduced to this Channel 3 family, and you welcomed me right away with open arms, despite having been here for so much longer. And you do that to everyone. You really are just one of the kindest people I've ever met. And what people see on TV, that's the real you.
You know, for me, it's never been about being on TV. It's all about the information you give. And, you know, I talk to a lot of people, teachers and people who, you know, are caregivers. And I say, you know, your job is as important as mine, if not more important. I just happen to be on TV.
You have such a passion for forecasting, but one of the things that has always stuck out to me is your passion for teaching your craft to those who are young. And I can't tell you how many times you've come in with young students in high school or in college who have the goal of becoming a meteorologist, and you truly take them under your wing and show them around. And it's always just stuck out to me that you have a passion to teach what you do and give back.
Well, I love helping young people get a start. You know, if they're interested in weather, helping them get a start in a very difficult science is something that I was always proud of doing, whether it's a scout tour coming in or having interns. You know, we've had some great interns over the years who have accomplished some really great things. And I don't know, it's just fun. It's fun to teach. That's something I may also consider in retirement, doing a little teaching here and there. But it's always fun just to see, you know, when we get interns that come in from college, they actually help to teach me a little bit as well. So it kind of goes back and forth. I teach them, you know, because you could take all the academics you learn in college, but when you get into the real world of weather forecasting, it's completely different.
Okay, 43 total years here at Channel 3. What are you most proud of?
You know, what I'm most proud of is having that longevity in one place. You know, I've been a Connecticut weather forecaster for 43 years. I'm the longest serving anchor that Channel 3 ever had. And I'm proud of that. I don't like to move. I don't like to move from house to house. I don't like to move from job to job. But in this business, it's hard to last that long in one spot. And I'm very proud of that fact that I started my career with Channel 3, and I'm going to end my career with Channel 3. That's a source of pride. My greatest accomplishment, though, is, again, helping the young people and the stories I hear years later. For example, the National Weather Service worker in Tucson, a girl that went to the National Weather Service there, told me that she got hooked on weather when I came to her second grade class. And then she's working at the National Weather Service in Tucson. Or the teacher that contacted me and said, my student with autism, you spend so much time with him. You spend probably more time than you should have, and I really didn't. You know, it was great. And then I get an email saying that he's now enrolled in a meteorology program. Those are the things that matter the most, the impact that you have on people.
I think one of the most admirable things about you, and the list goes on, but not only how serious you take your forecasting, but how serious you take severe weather. Mm-hmm. And the fact that your forecast can have such an impact on people. But also, I remember something you said to me about, we don't overhype a storm. This is not for ratings. This is for the safety of the people watching us. And that is just something that I could tell was so critical for you and was a driving force of your forecast.
That is exactly right. The main purpose of being a meteorologist here in Connecticut is to keep people safe. You know, there's many good days, but there's also a lot of bad days, and people have to get the information, and fast. So that is very important to me, because you know, you don't want to give a tornado warning after the fact. You want to get the word out before it happens. Sometimes we can do that, sometimes we can't. But that is our real purpose, is when the weather turns bad, to keep everybody out there safe. And like I said before, all we had was TV, and now we got, you know, social media, we got TV, we got the iPhones, and it's so wonderful. You know, I'm so glad that we can get the word out as fast as we possibly can. And the technology is always improving.
One of the remarkable things about you, and there are a lot of remarkable things, is how you remember every single storm and what happened and what was associated with it. Mm-hmm. But I think Hurricane Gloria may have a very special place in your heart.
Hurricane Gloria was the last hurricane to actually hit Connecticut head on, and Hurricane Gloria hit on September 27th, 1985. My son Brennan was born on September 23rd, 1985, which was a Monday. Gloria hit on a Friday. So here I am, we got this big storm coming up the coast, and I thought the hospital was going to call up and say, it's time to take your wife and your son home. And I was going to say, I can't, because I'm covering a hurricane. Fortunately, that happened after the hurricane. So Gloria hit on a Friday, and wife and son came home on Saturday, going around trees and power lines. No power when we got home.
All right, so let's go for a walk down memory lane of some of the most memorable storms for you personally and also in Connecticut. So what about Hurricane Bob?
Hurricane Bob, August 19th, 1991. That was a hurricane that went up over Block Island and Newport and cut my Cape Cod vacation short.
Also, Tropical Storm Irene obviously had a big impact on our state.
Irene was in 2011 in August, and that at the time was Connecticut's worst power outage on record. So that was a bad one. We had a lot of rain, we had a lot of wind, and it took many, many days for power to get restored.
And Superstorm Sandy is really one storm that everyone remembers.
Sandy slammed into New Jersey, but it devastated Connecticut. There was a lot of coastal flooding, and that became our second worst power outage on record, with over 800,000 customers without power.
And then a storm that I was here with you for, Tropical Storm Isaias. Talk about a lot of power outages as well.
That was last year. Over 750,000 customers lost power during Isaias. And it just goes to show, you don't need a hurricane to come into Connecticut and cause a tremendous amount of damage. Got a lot of trees in Connecticut. When you get heavy rain and winds combined, it brings down a lot of power lines.
Obviously, Connecticut does see the gamut in terms of weather. Mm-hmm. What are your favorite types of weather events to forecast and cover?
My least favorite are severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. Those are really scary, but I think the most challenging thing for me, and my favorite kind of weather event, is tracking hurricanes and tropical storms. It's a lot of fun, and they're also, they can cover a huge part of New England all at once. I love winter storm forecasting, because here in Connecticut, once in a while you get that pure snowstorm, but a lot of times you get the rain changing to sleet, to freezing rain, to rain. That's a blast to forecast, and it's a real big challenge, and that's what I really enjoy the most.
So I know it's probably hard to sum up such a memorable and illustrious and accomplished career. I could go on and on with the adjectives, but what would you like your legacy to be? What's the legacy of Bruce DePrest?
The person that our viewers can trust with the weather information to keep them safe. I want to just have people remember me as the nice guy on TV who kept us safe. That's what I want, because it's all about coming into the living room and giving the information that people need. I want to be known as an information guy. Get that word out there, not a person who's there just to be on TV. I did not want to scare people, but I wanted to let them know what's coming. And they could tell by the tone of my voice whether it's serious or not. But I never wanted to get up there and panic anybody. Because I know my mom, who lived in Arizona when the bad winds came in Arizona and the dust storm, she got really scared. And so that's something I really tried to avoid doing. I didn't want to scare people, just inform them and walk them through it.
What will you miss the most?
I'll miss the people I work with a lot. I really will. We've got some great forecasters that I work with, Mark, Scott, and the newbies, Connor and Lauren. It's been a great weather team, and just the news team, you and Zinni. I'll miss a lot. Joe Zone, he's staying on longer than I am. He's going to take it to the 70s. I'm stopping in the 60s. So I admire him as well. And I'll miss all the camaraderie and sharing stories and personal experiences. And, finding out that people suffer from the same things that I did, and I found, I was telling Scott Haney that, one of my decisions revolves around, having a reality check, a wake-up call when Denise passed away, this beautiful young woman who we worked with for so many years and was a pillar of health, and then all of a sudden she's gone. I'm still in shock, and I know you are too, and that was tough on everybody here. Then COVID comes along, and I had a horrible experience with what they call a periduodenal hernia, where this was during COVID, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm in pain, but I don't want to go to the emergency room. But then finally, Cheryl, my sister, who is a retired nurse practitioner, said, you got to go. And come to find out, it was really serious, and if I had waited another day, that could have ended my career and my life. It was really that serious. And then, as you know, I've had several bouts of anxiety on the 11 o'clock show, and find out that other people are dealing with the same thing. So we all share a lot of things in common. It can be a very tough business, and I think that's one of the things that led to my decision, is that there's a lot of stress that comes with forecasting and going through severe storms, and long hours, and it can get pretty exhausting. And I found that as I get a little bit older, it's a little bit harder to deal with. I still can, but while I'm still healthy and I feel young, that's the time to enjoy life. You could say to yourself, well, I still can do this because I feel great. It's also the time to call it quits and enjoy life and enjoy, I hate to call it retirement, it's just a new phase.